Wow, Tesla earnings. There's a lot to unpack here, but I think it's very important that we understand what actually happens. Now, to me personally, that was one of my favorite Tesla earnings calls ever. I've waited for this moment for a very, very long time. Now, before we go any further, first of all, nothing in this video is financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. I am, in the interest of full disclosure, I am an investor in Tesla. I've been investing in Tesla since 2017. It's by far my largest holding of all of my investments. But I want you to understand what's going on with this company. And now please like, subscribe, share the video if you wouldn't mind, and leave a comment down below. Tell me what I'm missing. First thing you have to understand about Wall Street and about analysts is most of these people don't have the time to invest in researching one company all the time. They just don't. They go on there, they say things, people believe them. We know many of those things are not true. Not because they're being deceptive, but unless you study something deeply, you really don't know the inner workings of these corporations. That's why most people who invest with analysts, with these people, they invest in funds, because it's very hard to put all your focus on one company. Anyway, I probably shouldn't be telling you any of that, because the people who watch my videos are very smart about how to invest and what to invest in. But for the purposes of those who may be new here, or who may be new to investing, or who may be younger, you need to understand this. There's an old saying, if you want something done right, do it yourself. Now, that's funny in many ways, but if you decide you love a company and you want to focus on that company alone, you need to do your own research. So just always understand that. Anyway, the big story, of course, coming out of the earnings call from the media, and frankly, from many of the people in the Tesla community, is Tesla have decided to kill the Model S and the Model X. Now, I'm going to make it very simple. Elon Musk has stated many times, Tesla is not a car company. It's not. I know it's not. He has told you it's not. In fact, at one point he said, if you're investing in Tesla, if you're buying Tesla shares because you think you own a car company, I highly suggest you sell your shares, because that's not what this is. Now, canceling the S and the X is very simple. You have a factory. You're making a low margin, low volume product. You're actually making two of them. You have an opportunity to produce a high margin, high demand product. What would you do? That product is Optimus. The future of Tesla is robotics and energy, and obviously AI is incorporated into both of those. So what they are basically doing is streamlining the company to move forward to faster profit. So your question probably is, well, why not kill the Model Y and the Model 3? Here's why. Because they are actually capable. First of all, they're very high volume and very, very high margin vehicles. So they sell really, really well. And on top of that, they are perfect for a robotaxi fleet, because both, as you know, I've done videos in the Model Y here, that on supervised full self-driving, I believe my car, they can flip a switch today and I can sit in the back seat. My car is very capable of doing that. I know there's regulations, I know there's all those things. So that's why they will keep those. They may not keep them forever. The other thing to understand is Cybercab is going into production in April. It will not have a steering wheel. The future of transportation is autonomy and robotics. That's where Tesla is going. There is no question about that. The other thing that Elon Musk mentioned was Cybertruck. They're going to be focused on Cybertruck. Now, if you talk to anybody a few months ago, they would have said, oh, they need to dump the Cybertruck. Nobody wants that dump truck. Nobody wants that. What do they call it? A garbage can or a dumpster or whatever. let me just tell you something. The full potential of that truck has not even been imagined yet. Here's two things. Look at construction alone. The biggest cost, some of the biggest cost in the construction industry is picking up and dropping off materials. I know when I was a kid, I worked construction. I'm no construction expert. But one of the things I loved is when the boss would come to me and say, hey, I need you to go to the supply store. You know what that gave me? That gave me a break. And I was happy to do that. But that was killing his production time. Now, the contractor that does go to the store himself or goes to Home Depot or wherever he gets his Builder's First Source, wherever he gets his supplies, when he goes himself, that's also a break for me. So it definitely cuts into his time and his money, and time is money. Now, you can say, well, building materials are delivered. Yes, they are. But there's also a cost to that. So the true potential of Cybertruck has not even been imagined yet. And I believe when it hits, the world is going to awaken. Now, I also know, and I'm very aware, that there are parts of the world they can't sell Cybertruck because of its lines and its design. I believe the design will evolve, and I'm going to take this a step further. Now, if there's an engineer in the community here, you tell me where I'm wrong. I don't see any reason that this Cybertruck could not be reimagined with a new design for a second cyber SUV that just looks like a Yukon or a what's the other one? A Suburban or whatever it is, right? A Denali. So tell me that that's not possible. These vehicles, nothing is made by humans anymore. It's made by robots. I don't see why they can't redesign the current production line, add some more robotics in there, and create a second version of this vehicle. Anyway, the point is, Elon made a point to state that they are going to work on the Cybertruck. In other words, the Cybertruck is not going anywhere. They have a plan for it. Of course, it's working at SpaceX, it's working at Tesla, it's working at the Boring Company. It's proving its worth as a heavy-duty construction type, delivery type, logistics type vehicle. The other thing that's happening is the Tesla Semi is about to come online. Now you're talking about deliveries autonomously that's going to save an enormous amount of money on goods and service. Now, here's another thing that's going on. My God, Tesla has zero debt. They have 44 billion in cash. Billion in cash. And here's the kicker. Going forward, they're getting ready to spend 20 billion of that. That 20 billion is going to be spent mostly, even though he didn't say this, so don't quote me. I don't know, but I would believe that much of that 20 billion will be spent on Optimus and robotics. I also believe that Tesla, in fact, they announced that they're going to put 2 billion into XAI. I think that number is going to grow. Now, let's just understand something. Tesla and SpaceX are the same company. Even though they're not connected, it's the same dude that owns all of it. I think you're going to see military contracts coming down the road. There's already contracts with NASA and all that stuff. America is very, very, very far behind on drone technology, military quality drone technology. China are way ahead of us on this, and we need to catch up. So I think you're going to see this company evolve into many different areas. And we all know, and even though people put in the comments all the time, I love to drive, I love my car, these EVs will never take off. Let me tell you something. I can't imagine driving again in a regular car. I just saw a Rivian this morning, and I looked at it and I said, that is a beautiful vehicle. What a beautiful vehicle. There's only one problem with it. It's not willing to drive me. So I have absolutely no desire no desire to own a Rivian. Maybe Tesla will license the technology of full self-driving. Who knows? But the fact of the matter is, the future for this company is robotics, energy, technology, AI, etc. I want to leave you with one final thought. I have a lot of relatives. I'm from Ireland originally. I have a lot of relatives there. I have a family member who just put solar on their home. Europe are offering a 25% grant if you put solar on your home. Solar is working in Ireland, and you know, what do we know about Ireland? It rains all the time. It's always cloudy and dreary and miserable. I have another family member who's in the construction industry, and I talked to him 2 weeks ago, and I said, well, how are you doing? Is it busy over there? He says, you know what we're doing right now? He says, we're constantly working on solar farms. If you watched the Davos interview with Elon Musk, he talked about getting deeper into solar. He already has the batteries. He already has the power wall. Your Cybertruck is an energy source. You can power your home with Cybertruck, I believe, for 3 days. So I think, and again, I don't know, I'm purely speculating, but I think that Tesla are going to start manufacturing solar panels. So the bottom line here is the world is changing. Yeah, I made notes. I had to make notes because there's so much to unpack here. The world is changing. AI is going to hit, beginning this year, like a hypersonic tsunami. And I don't think you're ready for it. And by the way, I think for the most part, this is going to be good. But anyway, this is the greatest earnings call that I have seen from Tesla in quite a few years. I have waited for this moment for a long time. And of course, I'm biased. I am an investor in Tesla. I'm not saying you do. It's not financial advice. You have to be very careful with that on YouTube. That's not what I'm saying. But I bought shares as of 3 days ago. I continue to buy shares. So anyway, I really appreciate you watching. Please like, subscribe, and share the video. My little channel is growing, and I love doing this. I love sharing what I know. I don't know everything. Maybe I don't know anything, but I absolutely love sharing what I believe I know to be true. That's why it's called Truth, Tom. Thank you so much for watching.